Taxi Association Wata says 4 of its taxi drivers in Johannesburg have been shot and killed. The incident happened, or should I say occurred yesterday afternoon, prompting the association to halt its operations today. Joining us now is our senior reporter, Malungelo Booi, who is out in Soweto for us. Malu, good morning to you. A very disturbing story. What you are covering today, do we know what actually happened? What has led to these taxi drivers being shot and killed?
Well, Tolly, what we know so far, at least from what we heard from Wata and also the police, is that a group of armed men actually opened fire at the taxi rank that is used by Wata in Faradale, downtown Johannesburg. They just randomly opened fire, killing at least 4 taxi drivers and wounding about 3, which we're told are actually still in hospital. And Wata this morning telling us that it is actually at the back of that they decided, Booi, to halt their operations today because most of its drivers are actually saying that they don't feel safe and on the road. And interestingly, Booi, they're not saying who actually opened fire at these taxi drivers in Johannesburg yesterday. But what we know, though, Booi, is that this morning the MEC for Transport here in Gauteng, Jacob Mamabolo, will be meeting with Wata, we understand, but would also be meeting with another taxi association. But what I found interesting, also in my conversation, at least with Wata spokesperson Hamilton Mia, he was saying that they cannot say exactly who is behind actually this attack on their taxi drivers, but what they want essentially from government is an assurance that they will be safe on the road. In fact, he went as far as to say he wanted Police Minister Bheki Cele to activate the 72-hour activation plan to hunt down the people that shot and killed those taxi drivers in Johannesburg yesterday. So what we know so far is that 4 taxi drivers have been killed and that the Transport MEC here in Gauteng at least will be meeting with Wata and one of the taxi associations, Nandua, we understand. But Booi, there is history here. You know, you cannot not mention that there's history of violence in Soweto, especially between Wata and Nandua. And what has been interesting for me is what Hamilton Mayor saying that he does not want to point fingers just yet at anyone else. He wants the police to do their investigation in this regard. Booi.
What about the reaction to this incident, Malungelo Booi, from the national taxi body, Santaco? We know that recently they held an elective conference. They have a new leadership at the helm. Has there been any comment from Santaco?
Not as yet, Booi. They haven't released any statement, and I must also confess that I have not spoken to them just as yet. And you are right. I mean, previously, that taxi association or the umbrella body would actually play a pivotal role, Booi, in mediating in taxi disputes amongst rival taxi associations. In fact, I remember last year that taxi association, Santaco, was actually involved in mediating and trying to find a solution amongst, these 2 rival taxi associations here in Soweto. Booi, the issue of taxi violence and the dispute over routes, it's something that has been taking place for a number of years here in Soweto, especially when it comes to Wata and Nandua. But again, I'm going to say that as Hamilton Mia said, he does not want to point fingers just as yet to anyone else, and he does not link this to the ongoing dispute that we've seen in the past. That's why he's saying essentially that he wants the police to do their job and tell them who exactly shot and killed their members and want those people actually to be brought to the book. They've called on the police to activate that 72-hour plan to find the killers of those taxi drivers. Xoli.
Senior reporter Malungelo Booi, thank you very much. We'll leave it there for the time being, but any developments around this story will certainly bring those to you.